Alright, what's going on at YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. Today we're talking about cheap pedals and whether you should go for them and whether they're good or whether you should avoid them like the plague. But before we get into today's video, if you're new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure that little bell icon next to that is checked off. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any of this awesome cycling content we got on this channel. So, we're talking about super cheap pedals today and whether they're actually worth your money or whether you should just stay away from them as much as possible. So, as you guys know, I have lots of bikes here and ultimately some of the pedals suck is kind of the big deal. Some of the pedals suck on these bikes and I wanted to upgrade them. So, I was kind of looking around and I went, oh, let's look at some pedals, you know. And you know, when I need to upgrade 3 bikes, I don't want to spend $50 for every set of pedals. I'd rather something more affordable and just try and see if they work. So, we went on Amazon and I bought a pair of pedals. These are the Puroma pedals here. These were the cheapest pedals I found on Amazon. These were $11.99 for a set of pedals. That is like ridiculously cheap. And I'll tell you, the ones on the fat bike I bought were, I think those are 30. My Chesters on the dirt jumper were 40 when I bought those. So these are by far the cheapest set of pedals I've ever bought. And pretty much on par with what you would buy, you know, basic plastic pedal you could buy anywhere. So you get a nice nylon pedal with some spikes in it. So why were they $11.99? That's a very good question. So I went ahead, I bought 3 sets of these. I essentially bought one for the Trek 3700, so I can have a set on there for me to test out and ride. I also got a set for my wife for her aerial, and then I bought a set for the Superfly. And now you just saw high pitch Shimano clipless pedals on that bike. Those clipless pedals are there to stay. However, when I go to Sea Otter and a lot of these bicycle events this year, and I'm not racing, and I just want to use my bike as actual transportation, but still have my bike to be able to do mountain bike stuff and everything while I'm there, I want some flat pedals for that bike, so I can wear my flat pedal shoes, wear whatever I want, and I'll be perfectly fine. I can still walk around and do whatever I need to do. So, bought a set of pedals just for that purpose. So I really wasn't looking to spend a bunch of money on them either because it's not like I'm gonna be ripping trails with these or beating them on rocks. I'm still gonna be using clipless pedals, but I need a set to just kind of cruise around on with the bike when I need to do that. So let's take a look at them real quick. So the Puroma pedals. So of course I got the orange for the Superfly, and wow, those look like a different orange in the camera, but they are kind of a dark burnt orange color. And you know, they're ultimately kind of look good looking pedal. They look kind of like a race face Chester a little bit. They're a little bigger than a Chester, but they look pretty basic. They have a nice silver spindle that goes through it. You know, they look pretty decent, right? Alright, so let me tell you about what I've had to do with these pedals so far. So obviously these pedals haven't even been installed. These are brand new. So what have I had to do with these? Number one thing I had to do, I had to go tighten every single one of these little studs. Every single one was about a turn to a turn and a half loose. So I had to go through and tighten every single one. So there are 16 of those on each pedal. So 32 you gotta tighten all together. So you gotta tighten a lot of them. So I had to go ahead and tighten all those up. If I didn't, they probably would have fell out and then you would pretty much just have a nylon pedal, which is pretty much what you had in the first place. So I had to go through and tighten all those up. If you buy a quality pedal, those should all be tightened from the factory. You shouldn't have to worry about that. You should put them on and ride just like I've done with my other pedals. The other thing I've had to do with this bike, one of the biggest complaints I saw on the reviews was that the pedal falls off the spindle, which it can happen. You know, that's something that can happen, and I've seen it happen myself, and I've been stuck, or I've seen a pedal snap in half, and you're stuck with the spindle, that's all you have. So I went ahead and took the whole pedal apart to take a look at the internals on it. So the internals on here, the spindle actually looks pretty decent, looks pretty good. I'll tell you that inside of here, there is one bearing right down here at the end, and then this side has a bushing. Not even a bearing, just a bushing. So ultimately these pedals are probably not going to last the longest out of all the pedals that have, you know, potentially 2 bearings or 3 bearings, however many bearings they might have. But these pedals probably aren't going to last as long as a good quality pedal. The other thing I noticed, for the spindle, for the nut that actually holds your pedal body onto the spindle, that nut was just a standard old nut. Wasn't a nylock nut, didn't have Loctite, none of that. So you think, your pedal motion, you're pedaling, right, and the pedal's kind of going like this, it's going to back off that nut eventually. And that's pretty much what I'm sure has happened to these people is that nut backed off and the whole pedal body fell off and they're kind of sunk, right? And that's pretty much the deal. Also, they use very thin grease. That's kind of a common thing though on any pedals that I buy. They have thin grease inside. So I went ahead and I cleaned out everything inside here, put brand new grease, and then for the nut, I had to go through and put Loctite on that nut in order to keep it there and keep it in place. And make sure, hopefully I don't lose it. Hopefully it doesn't fall off while I'm riding around on these. But ultimately they're pretty good. Like I said, I put them on my Trek 3700, I put them on my wife's bike already, and I actually took those out for test rides already to see if they were actually good or if they were just complete garbage. I needed to get them off and return them right away. And ultimately they were pretty good, you know, on par with what was on them before. Both those bikes just had the original plastic pedals that came with the bike in the first place, and this was a nice upgrade. They definitely grip pretty good. You know, they're not the best thing in the world, but they grip pretty good. And I can't say they're bad at this point. At this point, I can't say they're bad. I haven't had a fail here on these. And they work. They work. I mean, for $11, it's kind of hard to beat that for a set of nylon pedals with studs to hold on to give yourself some grip. As of right now, I haven't seen any failures on these. I'm going to continue riding these, and of course, these are going to the Superfly during Sea Otter, so that's where they're really good at test. That's where I'm actually gonna ride that bike, and I ride the Superfly pretty hard. So that's when we're gonna see if these pedals actually hold up. That's when my wife's gonna be riding her bike a lot as well at Sea Otter. So we'll see how they actually turn out and see if they actually work and if they last a long time or if they fail. But as of right now, if I had to give these a review right now, I'd say they're not a bad pedal for $11.99. Not a bad price, and they come in different colors, so you can kind of get the color you want, so you can match your bike or whatever you want to do with them. Should you get these? Should you get the cheapest pedal? Should you look for something more expensive? As of this moment, I don't really know what to think right now. These pedals are a lot better than I thought they would be. Now, I could say longevity-wise, on a nicer pedal, more expensive pedal, you're gonna have better internals on the pedal and better seals and everything like that. This seal is pretty garbage. You rub this in mud or water, it's gonna contaminate the grease, and your pedal's not gonna last that long. But just to riding around, this might work. You know, this might work. This cheap pedal might work. But I will say, as my initial review, cheap pedals might not be as bad as you think they are. So I'll have a link in the description down below if you want to check them out. Again, I paid for these with my own money, and I'm willing to try them out. And I'm hoping to get more rides on these and see, do they actually work? Do they not work? Are they going to fall apart on me? What's going to happen? So if you guys are interested in seeing my full review on these Puroma pedals, subscribe. There's going to be another video coming out where I will give a full review, a longer term review, after I've put in some rides on these things and see if they actually hold up or not. Also, if you've tried some of these pedals, if you've tried these pedals yourself or tried the cheapest pedals out there and you've had some experience, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys on your opinion on whether the cheapest pedal is actually good or whether you need to spend a bunch of money to get a set of pedals. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, or at least learned something in the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love chatting with you guys. Love answering questions you guys have. And we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.